Hey, Theme Park Hipsters, it's me, Nikki J, and today we are heading over to Epcot. Yes, we are going over the Epcot Food and Wine Festival for this year and some of the new tips and strategies that you'll need to maximize your time at this incredible Disney Food Festival. The Epcot International Food and Wine Festival looks a little bit different this year, and while your favorite food is probably still on the menu, there are some things you should know about touring the new hybrid Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Here at Theme Park Hipster, this is definitely our favorite time of the year, Epcot in the fall. The cooler weather to walk around World Showcase and the park seems empty some days. Plus, it's when Disney puts on this annual Food and Wine Festival that makes us the happiest. Let's first talk about Epcot's new hours, transportations, and temperature checks. Getting to Epcot is a little bit different with all of the Disney new health and safety standards due to the ongoing pandemic. So this is something that you definitely want to keep in mind. So before you even get to Walt Disney World, you're going to want to make sure that you have your reservation or your Disney Park Pass together. And you can do this by going on to your My Disney Experience account, logging in, and then selecting the day that you would like to visit Epcot. Currently, the new hours will be between 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. every day, but always check because things are constantly changing. Now let's talk about the transportation options. There are a few options to get you back and forth to the park, especially if you are staying on site at a Disney hotel. If you have a car, you can just drive yourself. This is our favorite option right now since the bus and Skyliner can take a bit of a while. But if you are on your solo trip and you plan on, experimenting with some of the Epcot concoctions there, then you want to make sure that you definitely have a plan B to get to your destination safely so that you are not drinking and driving. Something you should note is that the monorail from the Magic Kingdom resorts to Epcot are currently not operating right now, but that can also change in the future. So double check that before you come out to Epcot Food and Wine Festival if you plan on staying at any of the Magic Kingdom resorts. Now let's talk about the temperature screenings. No matter which Walt Disney World park you visit, you will have to have your temperature checked before security. This is a part of Disney's new emphasis on health and safety, especially with the pandemic going on this year. Please note that if your temperature registers above 100.4, you will be directed to sit in a cool down tent. This is definitely done to make sure that everything is okay and that your temperature, in fact, is going down. If your temperature does not go down, you will not be allowed to access Epcot or any of the Disney theme parks. What is the Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival? Once inside Epcot, you'll be able to experience this hybrid version, which is kind of a mixture between the Food and Wine Festival and the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. Around Epcot, you'll still find some elements of the Flower and Garden, including topiaries like Remy and select merchandise that you usually find during the Flower and Garden Festival. You will also see some familiar menu items from Flower and Garden Festival and the Food and Wine Festival from past years. You may be asking, what food should I get while at Epcot? Now, this is something that I cannot choose for you because we may have different tastes, but you should know that there are dozens of food booths to try while exploring the Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. You're definitely going to want to head over to the mac and cheese booth. You can pretty much win with anyone. This year, I received the buffalo chicken mac and cheese. It was absolutely terrific. There's also these other dishes that you should try, like this one from China. And of course, anything from the Canada booth. They definitely have brought back some of the past year's favorites that you would see over in Hawaii. And the famous lobster tail with Meyer lemon emulsion and grilled lemon from the Citrus Blossom booth. So those are some of the top ones that you should try this year. No matter where you decide to eat, you'll find a plexiglass has taken over. So all of those places that you have seen food booths throughout the years, when you go there now, you'll notice that Disney has definitely installed plexiglass at each of the food booths registers and even at the pickup windows. This is to ensure the safety of both you and the cast member. Something new this year is happening over in World Showplace. Now, if you've never been to a special event at the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, you may not be familiar with this area. This space is usually used for private and public events, and it's one of those special places that I come to love because I remember dining here for the Epcot 3D dessert years back. So it's a very, very lovely place for you to visit. Inside the World Showplace, you will find 4 festival booths. You'll find some tables, chairs, bathrooms, and most importantly, you'll find some AC. Now let's talk about the technology surrounding the festival. Throughout World Showcase, you'll find pillars with menus and QR codes in lieu of the traditional festival books that you may have noticed from the past. The festival booklet can be brought up on your phone by scanning any of the QR codes with your smartphone, as you can see in this photo here. The QR code will direct you to the Walt Disney World website with a new interactive space just for the Taste of Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. It will include the menu, where you can find entertainment, things that your kids can do, and where you can find merchandise. So this is something that you want to remember on your trip this year to Epcot Food and Wine Festival. Let's go quickly over the entertainment this year, which is a little bit different since we are practicing physical distancing. Right now, you do have the character cavalcades times throughout the day where you might see some of your favorite Disney characters parading around on World Showcase. You may see Mickey and friends, Frozen sisters, and some Disney princesses all in Epcot, so it's quite amazing. Also, over in the American Gardens Theater, you'll be able to watch the Jammatours and the Mariachi Cobre, which are classic staples of Epcot. For the little ones, KidCot is still going on. It usually has kids do an activity and interact with the cultural representatives from each country around World Showcase. It's pretty fun. It's not limited to just kids. We, kids at heart, can also participate. It is definitely fully self-guided right now. Now let's talk about budgeting for Epcot. The best and easiest way to keep your budget while enjoying your treats and your savory dishes is to purchase that Disney gift card, that little wristlet that you see everyone rocking on their wrist. This allows you to be able to load a specific amount of money. That way you know this is your budget. You don't have to keep pulling out your wallet, thinking you have this endless amount of money and being sad at the end of the day when your bank account is way lower than you want it to be. Put the set budget amount on your gift card wristlet. When it's done, it's done. You can leave knowing that you stayed on the right path of being an adult and you stayed on budget. Now let's go over some safety tips for you while you are visiting any of the Disney parks, but particularly Epcot this year. Tip 1, keep your hands clean. There are multiple hand washing and hand sanitizing stations throughout the park to keep your hands clean after rides and before you eat. Tip 2 is to wear your face coverings and mask. Something else that you'll need is a face covering or a mask. Disney is very strict about people wearing a mask and wearing it correctly at all times. According to Disney, face coverings are required for all guests ages 2 and up and cast members. Please bring your own face coverings and wear them at all times except when dining or swimming. You may remove your face covering while you are actively eating or drinking, but you should be stationary and maintain appropriate physical distancing. That is from Disney, so that's something you should know before you get there. Tip number 3 is to take frequent breaks to cool off. Guys, you know it's Florida, so that means it's hot most of the festival. One thing that is necessary while you are touring around the world and most likely drinking is to make sure you drink a lot of water in between your tastings and that you take some time to relax in the AC, which you can find in a lot of the pavilions, just walking through the stores or taking a break in the World Showplace. At Epcot, you can still get free water from quick service food and beverage locations and Starbucks for free. If you do need to take a break from your mask because you're starting to feel like it's just getting too much for you, there are mask relaxation zones located in Epcot that you can take your mask off. Everyone's physically distanced from each other, and it allows you just to take a break and breathe in some fresh air. You can find them near Test Track, the UK Pavilion, and the Norway Pavilion. Now let's go over the top festival tips for your trip this year. Tip 1 is to take extra masks and take lots of breaks. This seems so obvious, but so many people don't do either of these. Wearing a mask that's hot and sweaty all day long is just not fun. It's yucky, you get it so wet, and you just want something new to feel relaxed, to feel refreshed. So definitely do that and take advantage of the relaxation stations for your trip. The next tip is to plan out your top eats. Go over on the ThemeParkHipster website to look at the new menu this year to see what you want to eat. Put it down, write it down, put it in your notes section of your phone, make a budget, and that is it. Tip number 3 is to ride the attractions. Experience the attractions, guys. You are at Epcot. Not only should you enjoy your eating and drinking around the world tour, you should also enjoy the attractions at Epcot while you're there. Tip number 4 is to go back to your room in the middle of the day to relax, regroup, and come back for the evening events. I love taking breaks at my hotel room when I'm at the park, but it's such an amazing time to kind of go back to your room, regroup, refresh, shower, and then head back out to the park. Welcome back, guys. Now, wasn't that an incredible video filled with jam-packed tips? I hope that they have helped you. Remember that you can find me over on the ThemeParkHipster blog if you have any questions that you need answered more about the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. I will be sure to leave the link to the full guide and article just for you below. And until next time, happy park hopping hipsters.